Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my Week 14 Monday Night Football predictions between the Dallas Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Now, let's kick it off with the injury report, starting with guard Zach Martin with an ankle and shoulder injury, and safety Joanne Thomas with a knee injury, both out for the game. Then moving on to tackle Tyler Guyton with an ankle injury and a knee injury, Nick Vigil, linebacker with a foot injury, Trevon Diggs, a corner with a knee injury, all three questionable for the game. Then moving on to wide receiver CeeDee Lamb with a shoulder injury, linebacker DeMarvion Overshown with a hamstring injury, cornerback Deron Bland with a foot injury, wide receiver Brandon Cooks with a knee injury, tight end Jake Ferguson with a concussion, linebacker Eric Kendricks with a shoulder injury, defensive end Marshawn Nealon with a knee injury, defensive tackle Osa Odinjua with a shoulder injury, quarterback Cooper Rush with a knee injury, and offensive lineman Tyler Smith with an ankle injury. Now, in my opinion, obviously from Lamb all the way to Smith, they're playing, no doubt in my mind. When it comes to the questionable players, I think only Trevon Diggs will play. I think Vigil and Guyton will both miss the game. They'll be late, like 1 hour before the game, maybe a half hour. They'll be informed whether they're going to play or not. And I, in fact, believe they will not play. So it's going to be a very, very, very injured defense. Like, obviously, Nick Vigil is one of their decent linebackers, but also they lost Zach Martin, one of their best guards. Tyler Guyton potentially out for this game. That's going to be huge. Trevon Diggs potentially out of this game as well. And then you got injuries like from Overshown, Bland. Obviously, they're playing, but they could actually re-injure themselves during the game. So I'm leaning more on the defense, but to be honest, this is Dallas. They've not been good at all this year. So injured or not, I think they would still have trouble really performing good against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, on to the offense of the Dallas Cowboys, starting with quarterback Cooper Rush, running back Rico Dowell, fullback Hunter Lupecki, I don't know if that's how you say it, but okay, wide receivers CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert, and Brandon Cooks, tight end Jake Ferguson, left tackle Tyler Guyton, but if Guyton cannot go, Tyler Smith will take over, and someone would then obviously replace Tyler Smith at left guard, as he is the left guard. Then we get Cooper Bebe at center, right guard Brock Hoffman, and Terrence Steele at right tackle. Now, when it comes down to it, this offensive line it's okay, I feel like. It's okay, but it's definitely not good in the sense of the former Cowboys offensive linemen. Like, in the past, like, they've been one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Like, as long as they can protect Cooper Rush and open the holes for Rico Dowell, I think they can do a pretty good job. Then you get, obviously, the receiving core with Ferguson, Tolbert, Lamb, and Cooks. These guys, honestly, Tolbert and Lamb are probably going to be the main targets for Cooper Rush. Otherwise, they're going to probably just run the ball with Rico Dowell all day long. Now, moving on to the defense of the Dallas Cowboys, starting with defensive ends Chauncey Golston and Micah Parsons, defensive tackles Mozzie Smith and Osa Odinjua. I don't know if that's how you say it, but okay. Weak side linebacker Nick Vigil, and if he cannot go, Damian Clark will take over. Inside linebacker Eric Kendrick, strong side linebacker DeMarvion Overshown, cornerbacks Deron Bland and Trevon Diggs, but if Diggs cannot go, CJ Goodwin takes over. Jordan Lewis will be the nickelback. Malik Hooker, the free safety, and Donovan Wilson, the strong safety. Now, when it comes down to the Dallas Cowboys, I honestly believe that their defense, the defensive line specifically, with Micah Parsons on the right side of the field, just getting at that left side of the offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals, that's going to be crucial for this game. Obviously, they got on the other side, maybe they can blitz a little bit for DeMarvion Overshown. He has been an outstanding linebacker for the Cowboys this season. Deron Bland, pretty good at corner, along with Trevon Diggs. Obviously, if Diggs isn't there, that's going to be a little bit less for the Cowboys. More problems on the secondary. Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson, not really the best, but still, I think their defense is more mid. I think they're more mid, and I think that they will have a chance at stopping Burrow and the Bengals, but still, it's a very bad defense going up against another bad offense. So I'm not really certain on which one cancels out the other. So right now, what I'm believing is that the Dallas Cowboys will do their best, but they'll still let up some points to the Cincinnati offense. Now, moving on to the injury report of the Cincinnati Bengals, starting with tackle Orlando Brown with a fibula injury, defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins with an illness, both out for the game. Then we get wide receiver Charlie Jones with a groin injury. He is questionable for the game. Then moving on to quarterback Joe Burrow with a wrist injury, wide receiver Jamar Chase with an ankle injury, guard Cody Ford with a back injury, tackle Amarius Mims with an ankle injury, corner Josh Newton with an ankle injury, defensive end Joseph Osai with a thumb injury, tight end Drew Sample with an ankle injury. Now, when it comes down to the injury report from all the way to Burrow to Sample, they're all playing. And I believe Carly Jones will also get his opportunity to play. He's not going to be there all the time, obviously. He's not one of the main receivers. So he's going to be a potential rotational receiver rather than a full-on starter. So yeah, I'm not seeing much coming from the Bengals. Like, their loss of their top offensive tackle is one. Maris Mims could be the other. Obviously, he didn't lose him, but being the other tackle, I think still Orlando Brown is a lot better than Mims, but still, that's besides the point. The point being that this is going to hurt the defense a little, but the offense a lot more, due to the fact that you have a little bit more D linemen, while linemen on the offensive line, they are not easy to find in the NFL these days. Now, moving on to the offense, we got Joe Burrow at quarterback, running back Chase Brown, wide receiver Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Andre Iosivas. Then tight end, we got Mike Gesicki, left tackle Cordell Volson, coming in for an injured Orlando Brown. Then Cody Ford at left guard, Ted Karras at center, Alex Kappa at right guard, and tackle on the right side, Amarius Mims. Now, this offense is going to do all right. I think Chase Brown is going to get not that much game time, at least in the run game. But when it comes to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, expect to find these guys downfield at all times, and maybe some short routes with Mike Gesicki. In the end, Joe Burrow is going to have to start bombing them to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, because at this point, the Bengals really need to start working on that playoff appearance, because they're not winning the division, obviously, but they can still have that opportunity to make the playoffs. So it really doesn't just come to this game, but their future games and what other teams, such as I believe the Colts are still in it, the Broncos are still in it, and not the Raiders, but some other teams are still in it. They're going to have to fight for them. But in the end, I think the Bengals will be doing all right. But honestly, it's going up against Dallas, so you never know what could happen. Now, on to the defense of the Cincinnati Bengals, starting with defensive ends Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson. Defensive tackles will be B.J. Hill and McKinley Jackson. Jackson will be taking over for Sheldon Rankins. Weak side linebacker Joe Bacci, with inside linebacker Jermaine Pratt and Akeem Davis Gaither at strong side linebacker. Corners Cam Taylor-Britt and Josh Newton. Mike Hilton will be the nickelback. Free safety Geno Stone, and strong safety Jordan Battle. Now, when it comes to this defense, obviously Hubbard and Hendrickson, are the two top rushers of that defensive line. BJ Hill, pretty decent as well. Joe Bachie, Jermaine Pratt, it's all right. Pratt's a much better linebacker with Akeem Davis Gaither also on that level. Cam Taylor Britt and Josh Newton, not really that big of corners. Mike Hilton, though, that's a very good corner to have. And Geno Stone and Jordan Battle, they're okay. And this is really going to be an okay defense. In the end, they got to stop Dallas's passing offense and Rico Dowell in the run game. And I think they could. I think this is honestly things that could happen. The Bengals, I think, could actually stop the Dallas Cowboys. But it really all comes down to how this defense performs against the Dallas offense. Now, in conclusion, I have the game ending 13-10. Dallas wins. I think this is going to be a missed field goal to tie the game up. Bengals are going to line up, and instead of kicking it straight down the middle, we're going to be seeing a wide left. And I think that will end the Bengals game. Dallas would increase their win column, but still, that is not good in Dallas's mind because you're already almost basically eliminated. So realistically, you're fighting for nothing. So I'm not really expecting much against the Bengals. This game's probably going to be a bit boring, but still, I think that in the end, Dallas will take the win. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tweet me any video ideas. Also, tell me down in the comments below, who do you think will win and who do you think will lose? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe, and hit the notification if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.